We have no more reason to be there. We're there for the oil. Geopolitics becomes very simple at that point. Now, I can hear some other people talking right now saying, Dan, if you do that, the terrorists win. You do what they're asking us to do. You just validated, the whole strategy they had. They knocked down those buildings on 9/11 and we go running away from the Middle East with our tail between our legs. Sounds again like the whole Vietnam rationale. We can't leave Vietnam because otherwise the communists win and America loses prestige and blah, 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 blah. Folks, is it worth all of this so that you can say we didn't lose? I mean, we lost in Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen. And we lost in Vietnam. Half the people we lost because we didn't want to admit that we lost. And we lost anyway. The situation in Afghanistan is a nightmare. And when Afghanistan is done, ladies and gentlemen, then we get to deal with Pakistan. Then we get to deal with the Sudan. And eventually, if you really want to get to the heart of this terrorist problem, we have to bite the bullet and deal with the one country that we just can't stand dealing with, Saudi Arabia. Because we all know how closely they're tied to the radical sects of Islam that help power this strong, violent, death-oriented form of Wahhabism. What were the nationalities of the people that attacked us on 9/11 again? In the most part, ladies and gentlemen, the most of them were Saudi Arabian. Remember the premise? There's nothing more important than making sure Americans are not going to be attacked by terrorists again like we were on 9/11. You could go and stop terrorism in all these other countries, Sudan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran. You don't deal with Saudi Arabia, you don't kill the heart of the beast. And we're not going to do that. Why? What do they have? Oil. And they're giving it to us. And they're our friends. And they're supplying it. It's all about the same geopolitical realities that ancient Egypt would have understood. When President Bush says we were attacked on 9/11 by people who hate our freedom, he should have said we were attacked on 9/11 by people who want us out of the region. That would have provided the solution to the problem in the next sentence. Then let's get out. Is that a pie-in-the-sky answer, folks? Of course it is, because we're not getting out. We should be spending all that money we spend in the region on developing a new energy source, on working out a way to really take care of our national security, which is energy, which is vital to the running of this country. If you look at it that way, folks, the most important thing all of our defense money should be spent on is coming up with some new way to say, hey, to heck with all these countries that have oil. We don't need to be over there. We got our brand new energy supply source, and we don't have to deal with you at all. Energy is a national security issue. Be nice if we could start finding new energy sources with the same importance we treat, protecting access to the old energy sources. Because protecting access to the old energy sources is killing us. To win the war on terror, ladies and gentlemen, we have to, in a sense, lose. We have to get out of the region, and we're off the map, war on terror-wise. There's no more reason to attack us anymore. But people will say, well, you gave in to the terrorists. They bombed some buildings and you left the region. No, bombing us on 9/11 simply made clear that being in that region is not as important as presidents from both major political parties have made it out to be for the last 20 or 30 years. It should have woken us to a reality that's clear, and that reality is we don't need to be there to get our oil. If they don't give us our oil, we will take our oil. But that what's stirring up the hornet's nest in that region is the stick that is our forces. And if you don't care to believe that, that's fine. But you're going to continue to deal with symptoms rather than the root cause. When you're done with Afghanistan, assuming you can win Afghanistan, you think your war on terror is over? No, you have a lifetime war on terror so that you can continue to stay in a region that's not our region, so that you can continue to have access to this resource that we could have access to anyway, to continue to lead a lifestyle that we should be weaning ourselves off of right now. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear from you. Dan@dancarlin.com is the way to get a hold of us. Why don't you head on over to the website? You can take shots at me like everyone else does. I kind of exist for that reason, I think, Ben, don't you? I mean, I am the lightning rod for people of all political persuasions. We can take it. Love to hear from you. Ben is sick again, ladies and gentlemen. What do you have now, Ben? Ink poisoning or something? You're like a, Sesame Street tattooed Muppet, I guess you could say. Love to have your help. You'd think we'd be rich now with all this hate mail we get, Ben. Sorry for the delay in getting the show out to you, ladies and gentlemen. Had a little bit of the case of the flu. But we should get another one out to you in 12, 13, 14 days. Until the next time, thank you for everything. I'll leave you with that.
Make sure to check out Dan's other show, Hardcore History. The figures, the events, the drama, the deep questions. It's Hardcore History.
Visit the website at dancarlin.com and get involved with the community discussion group online.
Remember that you can purchase the archives of all of our old shows by going to the website and clicking on our merchandise link.
We also want to thank you all for posting reviews on podcast sites and comments and blogs about the show. It's really helping.